almost unseasonably warm in some ways. A perfect night for these young guys to get loose and get to hitting.
Atkinson muffs that one, scoops it up at the 7-yard line, and that's trouble. Had absolutely nowhere to go. Delano Hill after the trouble with the kickoff. Raiders start at the 11-yard line. E.J. Manuel first pass, caught by Keon Hatcher, and a couple of moves later, he's got a nice pickup. Second and short. Manuel with the handoff, John Crockett. Crockett lost the football. Seahawks have scooped it up and go the other way. Fighting for the extra yardage, that ball came out.
The takeaways is the name of the game. You could see the unblocked Seahawk defenders there.
Looks like we're going to have a review, as they do with all turnovers and scores. Before
after review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. First down, Seattle.
There's Chris Carson, cuts it back inside.
This could come his way on a pass.
The other way, Nick Vanette, the tight end. And Vanette dragged down inside the 4. Empty backfield, quick pass, tipped. And that one's intercepted. It looked like it was incomplete. Okay, it is incomplete. That first kick against the Vikings, his former team. This one from 21 yards away. And just like that, the Seahawks able to take advantage of the turnover. He's small, but he's wiry. There he is to kick it off. George Atkinson, the third, from the goal line. Runs into the pile, doesn't get far. Going to be stopped just before he gets to the 25-yard line. From the 24, E.J. Manuel at quarterback. Rolling out. Incomplete. Big hit laid out. The incompletion, second down. Handoff taken by Crockett. Runs right to the pile. Absolutely nowhere to go. David Bass in there on the tackle. Seahawks trying to stop the Raiders before they get to the 34. Manuel under pressure. Bass wraps him up. McKissick back deep to take this punt for Marquette King. Nice booming kick by King. McKissick. Stop right between first and second base. What you say? This devastation really unifying us at a time when we could use it. Boykin. Scramble, gets out of bounds. Kind of going back to his natural instinct, what he did as a rookie in the preseason. Here's a rookie right here, Chris Carson.
But I think you get to this moment.
Missed the last couple of weeks with an injury and flags down before the ball was snapped.
It's going to be a Fetty, I believe.
False start. Offense number 76. 5-yard penalty. Still third down.
Boykin will work from the shotgun. Floated that one out of bounds. Amara Darbo. Consistency back to punt. Did have one block last week that worked out in the Seahawks' favor when they recovered it because it didn't cross the line of scrimmage. But he gets that one off cleanly. Flag down as well, as that one stops a bit short.
During the kick, holding number 34 of the receiving team. 10-yard penalty from the end of the kick. First down.
And he hands it off to George Atkinson. Breaks a tackle. Demetrius McCray had a shot at him, but missed him in the backfield. In the end, winds up picking up a couple yards before the tackle was made.
He's got to be sharp tonight. 4th-round pick last year out of Michigan State. Here's Atkinson again. Dances a little bit too much. First down here. Cook. A pass gets out there. Keon Hatcher makes the catch, forced out of bounds by Demetrius McCray. 7 yards on that reception. 2nd and 3. Atkinson again. This one stretched out. Seahawks sniff that one. Cachet Palacio along with Marcus Smith right there. And just look at the overall pursuit. And he is not down. Yeah, they're going to stop this and take another look. I think there's no. Yeah, the red challenge flag is down as that ball was coming out. Pete Carroll's already throwing the challenge flag to take another look at this.
Seattle is challenging the rule on the field. that the runner was down before the ball came out. After review, the ball did come out prior to the runner coming down. However, there was no clear recovery. It will be Oakland ball, third down. Seattle will be charged their first time out.
The Seahawks did recover it for sure. Here's Cook. That pass thrown a little too quickly.
End result.
Another big kick from King. High. McKissick calls for the fair catch. Makes it at the 13-yard line. Still in the quarterback for the Seahawks. From the 14. Off the play fake. With time. Pass. Caught. Kason Williams.
And with that big body, more than willing to come across the field. It's one of those deep play action passes. I'd like to see Boykin get it out of his hand a little quicker. Wanted to see it before he fired. Ultimately moves the chains.
Under pressure, Boykin tries to escape, throws it while he's falling. Kenny Lawler with the catch. There's a flag down in the secondary as well.
Holding defense number 91. That penalty is declined. First down.
Here's the handoff. Carson bouncing off of people. Big physical runner with speed. Boykin lost that one out. Tanner McAvoy drops it. Incomplete. Carson has certainly done that. He takes a breather. Preseason comes in. Boykin up top. Defender fell down, and that's an easy touchdown. Just like that, Rodney Smith. His first score in the preseason as a Seahawk.
Tell it to quarterbacks all the time, man. Just give me a chance. And a tough pickup there. It's not what you want to see from Fetty and Glowinski on the right side. It may just come down with my ball, nobody's ball, and his first touchdown in the preseason.
Dexter McDonald fell down, making it easy for a 34-yard score.
You can flush a bad series here, you can flush a bad series there, and just come back. Just use his creativity.
Here's George Atkinson. Takes the kick from Blair Walsh. He stopped inside the 20-yard line. Blitz coming. George Atkinson bounces it outside. And Atkinson from the 29. Atkinson dancing. Bradley McDougal there in the backfield. Coming up from the safety spot to make the tackle. Cook throws that too wide, incomplete. KJ Brent, 39 for the first. Here comes the pressure. Oh, that one flagged down on the play as well. Not quite sure exactly what happened there. Pierre Desir.
Holding offense number 71. That penalty is declined. Fourth down.
Third punt of the night for King. McKissick on the run this time. Good return for McKissick. This is starting at the 42-yard line for Boykin. C.J. Preseason. Oh, he doesn't get far at all. Just his second carry of the preseason.
Quite a blur.
Preseason again. Slips this time, falls forward for a couple of yards. But here's Boykin. Locked in that one up, and it's picked off. Shalom Luani, the former Washington State Cougar, gets the interception. And E.J. Manuel back in at quarterback for the Raiders. Pass incomplete, no flags on the play.
He has been all through camp. Pays it off with the turnover.
Manuel overthrows everybody on that one. Penalty markers down, however. Putting his hands on the receiver too early.
Defense number 39. Automatic first down.
High five is for the technique, maybe a little extra contact.
Manuel dumps that one off. Crockett out of the backfield. Another big hit. Here's Crockett again. Picks up about a yard on the play. Quentin Jefferson on third down.
Man to man.
And a flag down. Linesman, by the way.
False start.
Oh.
Offense number 16. 5-yard penalty. Still third down.
Here's Manuel under pressure. Gets it off, but probably not the results he wants. John Crockett.
This game has to be thrilled with the way his team has once again run, hit, and finished those tackles.
Here's McKissick. Calls for the fair catch. Out of a leaf, right?
Yeah, I'm from Houston, you know, and with all the stuff going on with the hurricane right now, it's just so crazy seeing everybody being devastated. And
donated $25,000 to the effort.
Yeah, I'm hoping to work with all the fans and people watching the game to want to work with us and all the things we're working with Costco, Safeway to get people and just help the city. So I'm hoping everybody that watched tonight can make a donation in some court. So whatever you can to help is a big deal.
So Bennett's donated $25,000. The Seahawks have added $50,000 to the cause.
Like this and just working together, and it's just good to see how people are working right now, and people pulling people out of the ocean, people are pulling out the water, people serving people doing rescuing everybody. So
you want the food, you want the people to get those resources right into their hands.
We want the resources to get right there. Work with the local charities and organizations within the city that you know that can be affected by. They need all those things that we take for granted right now, and we need to go out there and help our people.
And what's it mean to your organization stepping up, Michael? They've had your back in so many different ways. I think they offer you guys such tremendous support.
And through me and through the organizations that I'm working with, so it's a blessing to be able to have those.
Well, I think that's a big thing. You talk about the relief going directly to the people to help them with goods and about helping each other out.
It's always about helping each other out. I think through tragic events, people come together. Right now, everybody's coming together in the sea.
Make a donation.
Hey, thank you guys so much, and I appreciate everybody that's watching, and pray for all the families right now.
All right, we will. Thank you so much for all you do, Michael, as well.
Thank you, guys.
All right. And for taking the time to make sure the people at home get a chance.
It didn't surprise me at all to see that unity within the building.
There's Boykin on the keeper here. Picks up the first down. They just needed a couple of yards.
React. Typically, the better he plays.
First down from the 23. Here's Alex Collins. Collins picks up a yard on the play. Boykin under pressure, gets it off. Picked off again. Second interception thrown tonight by Boykin. Breon Borders with the pick.
Boom or bust. You know, we've seen it on this drive in particular, just not seeing that underneath coverage. But the crumbs lead to the cookie. You have got to take that easy play in front of you.
So the Raiders take over at the 6-yard line. John Crockett.
Both unfortunately poor decisions for Trevon after so many good highlight reel making plays.
KJ Brent with the catch. Their own territory despite the fact they picked up the first down and movement early. Before the ball was snapped, Farrell Brown.
Offense, number 81. 5-yard penalty. First down.
I'm going to do what I do. Unfortunately, two pretty critical giveaways.
Manuel had that one go through the hands of John Crockett. Yeah, a little smoke coming off of it. Here's Manuel. Going the other way, KJ Brent. Gets the first down. Nico Thorpe. There to wrap him up.
Action number 80.
But not before he moved the chains, and there's a late flag down in the secondary.
The result of the play was a reception and a first down. There is no foul for an unnecessary roughness for high contact.
John Crockett cuts through. Still fighting. It's about the toughest 5 yards the little man's picked up tonight. So the Raiders still have it on second down. Here's E.J. Manuel. Out of the pocket. Slips a tackle from Otha Peters and gets the first down. Hands it off to John Crockett. Caught in the backfield.
And just the athleticism to get in the backfield. He's done it all preseason.
Manuel to the air. Caught by Holton. Johnny Holton slips a tackle. Nico Thorpe had him wrapped up for a second but couldn't bring him down. First down in Seahawk territory. Manuel zips it over the middle. Farrell Brown, the tight end.
Tight end, O-line.
John Crockett at running back now. He runs right into the pile. Fourth in the preseason finale against Seattle. Third and short. Crockett hitting the backfield right away. Tedrick Thompson coming on the blitz. And there's a flag down after the play is over.
After the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness. Defense number 97. 15-yard penalty. First down.
Raiders off the field. Instead, Oakland has it at the 19-yard line. Manuel lofting it up. Too much air underneath, incomplete.
Excellent job there by Desir.
12th play of the drive coming up. Johnny Crockett tries to cut it back. Maybe a yard. Desir on the tackle there. Inside the 10-yard line for the first. Manuel throws it that way. Caught in the end zone. Touchdown Raiders. Keon Hatcher. What a grab. 18 yards on the score with Demetrius McCray draped all over it.
He's got a one-on-one press coverage. And unfortunately, just the awareness to the football.
Tavecchio adds the extra point.
Give someone an extra out, they make you pay. And when you take points off your own board and you give the ball away, so often that opponent takes advantage.
Cyril Grayson with the kick return. The former track star of LSU can't even get back to the 10-yard line on this one. Starting at the 9. Quick pass. Amara Darbo. And a third-round pick out of Michigan with his first catch. He will tonight. Boykin swoops. Tyrone swoops. The tight end. Boykin stays in the pocket, gets it out to Darbo. Darbo gets the first down and gets out of bounds. From the 33, a handoff, Mike Davis. A couple of nifty moves. Gain of 4. To the air. David Moore gets it into Seahawk territory after slipping a tackle. Stops the clock as he gets out of bounds with 48 seconds left. The Raider 48. Underneath, Mike Davis again. Trying to get out of bounds. Didn't. Well, he's 5 for 5 on this drive. 6 for 6, Mike Davis. Oh, he missed a chance to get out of bounds.
He's valuable. Just getting out of bounds would have been.
No flag on the play. So it's 2nd and 10. Boykin scrambles. Keeps his eyes downfield. He's got a man open and underthrew it. Almost intercepted again. Final seconds. Boykin scrambling. This will be the last play. And Boykin will go down. Chance to rest his leg throughout much of the preseason. So Tavecchio is the guy who's been here year in and year out. In the month of August, Alex Collins going to take that one for a touchback in Seattle. Will start off the play fake to start here. And there are those legs you talked about that no one really suspected he had. Penalty marker down on the play as well. Will Davis wisely throws that one away, incomplete.
As tonight in your position room was what?
Have fun. You know, if you forget everything about football.
There's another big catch by Cason Williams while you're talking.
As you see, you know, just because all these guys are extremely talented.
Williams picks up 36 yards on that reception. And a short run by Alex Collins as we're talking with Doug Baldwin. And
I thought we did pretty efficiently when we were out there on the field, but we've also had great practices and done a great job of. Lawler is probably it's probably not the crispest all the time, the crispiest routes all the time, but he's extremely smart. So that when you get out here on the game field, it's just second nature to you, and you don't have to think, you don't have to make stuff up, you just play football. So there is a fine line to it, but
wisely needing a yard. Oh, that didn't work out. Collins stopped in the backfield. This is deep short. 49-yard attempt. And it's not good. Of the 90 Seahawks on the roster is not playing at all tonight. Here's a quick pass. Connor Cook. A collision. Pierre Desir. Tedrick Thompson. And they just popped Keon Hatcher. And there's going to be a helmet-to-helmet call on one of them.
I think this is going to be the crown of that helmet.
Personal foul. Defense number 33. Hit on a defenseless receiver. 15-yard penalty. First down.
That's on Tedrick Thompson. He isn't. Hatcher caught that on the first chance. It probably wouldn't have been a flag. It would have been a reception. Ball would have been the same spot, but not a penalty. Just inside the 45. Connor Cook. Lost that one out there for Atkinson. Shea Palacio wrestles him out of bounds. Flag down as well. Looks like he got enough yardage for the first down, but let's see what the marker's all about.
Personal foul. Defense number 91. Unnecessary late hit. 15 yards added to the end of the play. First down.
That's called on Cassius Marsh.
Quarterback could not finish with the injury.
George Atkinson bouncing it outside. Flags down again.
Holding offense number 64. 10-yard penalty. Replay first down.
Here comes the blitz. Cook sees it, gets it up. Can't quite get it out there. Intended for KJ Brett. Nico Thorpe with it. Draw play. Atkinson with room. Fights his way to the 16-yard line. Seahawks try to hold on to the lead. Cook. Incomplete. Intended for Holton. Pierre Desir right there. Field goal attempt from Tevecchio. It's only the third field goal the Raiders have attempted all preseason. They've made two, both by Tevecchio, and that one is donating $25,000. The Seahawks are doubling that and adding another $50,000 to it. If you want to go online to BennettFoundation.org, you can add to that total as well. Seahawks start at the 25-yard line. It's Mike Davis. Nice run around the edge. Davis picks up the first down. Good game.
Been set up for him.
First down, Davis goes the other way. Turns sideways. Handoff taken by Davis. Breaks initial contact. Picks up 3. Davis. Flushed out of the pocket. Still looking downfield. First down, Tyrone swoops. Blitz picked up. Davis, arm hit as he was throwing that one in the direction of David Moore. Falls incomplete. It's funny to see all the red dirt on the uniforms. Davis on third down. Going from McKissick, overthrew him, incomplete.
Not much space and separation there from McKissick.
John Ryan's second punt of the night. Keon Hatcher makes the fair catch. Ball tipped. KJ Brett still caught it. Breathing room for the Raiders. Cook. Almost picked off. Went right through the hands of George Atkinson. Here's Cook on second down. Quick pass out to Brent. Desir on the coverage there. Another third-round pick out of Michigan, the big hitter he's been known as. It's Cook. Gets that one out to Atkinson. Big game before he gets out of bounds.
Advantage Oakland.
Here's George Atkinson. Through a hole. Tedrick Thompson stops him, but another big pickup by the Raiders. Ball's at the Seahawk 33. Atkinson gets around Nico Thorpe. Thorpe catches up and forces him out of bounds, but a good cut by Atkinson. Cook under center. Hands it off. John Crockett trying to fight his way through traffic. Doesn't get anywhere. Rodney Coe just wrestles him down to the ground. And they get a first down at the 23. Here comes the blitz. Cook read it. Incomplete. KJ Brent being pushed out by Nico Thorpe.
Pass interference. Defense number 23. Automatic first down.
For the Raiders. And then no flag on that one. George Atkinson. Through a hole again. Inside the 10. Diving.
Touchdown Raiders. Now there is a penalty marker on the field, but the Raiders are already in celebration mode.
Offense number 68. 10-yard penalty, 3-play first down.
And they can stop celebrating. Touchdown off the board, at least temporarily, is cooked. Underneath, John Crockett. Right into the arms of both of Peters. More guys playing with a chance to make either this roster or somewhere else. Rosters have to be cut by Saturday to 53 from 90. Along the sideline, did he make the catch? Keon Hatcher went up. They say he couldn't stay in bounds. Here's another look at it. He caught the ball, so just watch his feet. There you can see that heel out of bounds right there. And so the Raiders are challenging.
After review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. The receiver's second foot came down out of bounds. It'll be fourth down. Oakland will be charged one timeout. Please set the play clock to 10 seconds.
We'll do it for you. So here's a 36-yard attempt from Tavecchio, who's already had one go through tonight, but not this time. Here's Austin Davis still in the quarterback. With time, going deep. Overthrows Cason Williams. Most likely the final play of the third quarter. Davis with time, flushed out of the pocket. Flag down. Intended for Tanner McAvoy.
Holding, defense number 56. 5-yard penalty, automatic first down. We will mark off the penalty to start the fourth quarter. This is the end of the third quarter.
Quarter of the preseason. Barring overtime. J.D. McKissick spins his way out for a pickup of 3, maybe 4 yards. 2nd and 7. McKissick got his feet tangled up. He's in the backfield with Davis out of the shotgun. To McKissick. One-on-one, falls forward. Going to be right at that first down marker.
And he does just that.
First down, McKissick cuts it back. Keeps those feet churning. Good run of 7 yards by McKissick. Gets it again, stops in the backfield and can't get restarted. Davis, Darbo, first down.
In the body to make the play.
Davis again to the air. A little too wide for David Moore.
For coverage, really difficult to do when the guy's bigger, stronger, and faster than you.
Here's McKissick.
You can put yourself in position, and you can be right there to make the play.
Davis under pressure as McKissick couldn't pick up the blitz.
Knock that defender, and it frustrates everybody.
John Ryan with the punt to Keon Hatcher. Another fair catch.
Seen from the young guys tonight, KJ.
Young guys having fun out here, man. My guy Cache Palacio, I knew he was about to do that. And I knew he was about to do that too. And Palacio's looking really good.
Give me your assessment of where this defense stands right here. I mean, because from the outside, that close to another pick here tonight.
Want to be aggressive. How do you balance that?
You done? Bobby's still right. I didn't even hear your question.
They really, when you're winning, you can do that. When you're playing good football, you can do that. Here's E.J. Manuel. Tossed down the sideline. And the pass is caught. There's a flag down in the backfield as well.
Personal foul, roughing the passer. Defense number 51. High contact to the head. 15-yard penalty, first down.
It's on Mike Morgan.
And you're going to draw that penalty.
Ball's now at the 41-yard line. John Crockett bouncing around a tackler and gains 10 more. Here's Crockett dancing around some more. Greg Millhouse in there on the stop. Here's Crockett again. Nowhere to run, but he gets outside. Finds running room and the block downfield. Tedrick Thompson finally stopped him. Manuel under center. John Crockett again. Runs it right up the middle. Oakland. Here's Crockett. Inside the 10. And another first down. Short of the first, 3rd and 1. Initial contact made in the backfield.
Framework, you get to defense in trouble.
Here's Tavecchio, 28 yards out. Second field goal of the night, breaks the tie.
If it's not clean, take a knee. A whole lot easier to start at the 25 than inside your own 20.
Alex Collins, the guy who will have to make that decision.
There we go.
Takes a knee, and so they'll start at the 25.
And as gentle a giant as you're going to find.
So the Seahawks will honor him all season long with that 96 sticker. 6 yards on first down. Davis to the air. Darius Rogers shows the hands and makes the catch.
And a big-bodied guy that trusts his phenomenal hands.
His first catch of the preseason, good for 25 yards. And here's Alex Collins running it on first down. Second down, Collins missed the block, and Davis goes down for the sack. Shalik Calhoun gets it.
Back up to the booth. We'll have post-game reaction in just a minute.
All right, Austin Davis to Tyrone Swoops. Swoops down right at that first down marker. Things lined up like he wants. Quick snap. Tanner McAvoy from the shotgun. Here it comes. Davis gets it out, throws it too high, but there's a flag down on the play as well. McAvoy, the intended receiver.
Pass interference. Defense number 36. Automatic first down.
That's on Chris Humes.
In your hands, the opportunity to make the game-winning plays.
Here he goes towards the end zone. Caught. Kenny Lawler. Touchdown Seahawks.
Stuff beaten out of you through the second half. That throw is just in front of the safety. Does not panic, does not flinch. Really well done.
Blair Walsh makes it a 4-point game. And sometimes it's the intangibles that coaches look for, not just the completion percentage and touchdown passes. You've got to make those, but you've got to do the other things right as well.
I'll tell you what else was cool right there was who was sitting next to him on the bench.
Cook. Out of the backfield is John Crockett. Good open field tackle made by Rodney Butler. Cook from the shotgun. Under pressure. Ball bounces around. KJ Brett had it hit him in the hands and rolled everywhere. Cook. Quick pass. And the ball is caught. Here's Cook. Ball comes out. It looks like Cook recovered, but it was Mike Morgan getting in there to separate him from the football to begin with. 53 by 1 o'clock Pacific time on Saturday. Here's Cook. Caught by KJ Brent. Gets out of bounds with 10 seconds left. Here's Cook. Brent intercepted into the hands of Otha Peters. And that'll do it.
But just the way you want to end it defensively, taking the ball away, and then this snap and formation with the victory O as good as it gets.
Important. Winning is to Pete. Doesn't matter whether it's the preseason or not. He goes to 22-10 in his 8 seasons as Seahawks head coach in the preseason, finishing 4-0 for the 3rd time. The last time, they went on to win the Super Bowl.